Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. In this video, I'll be going through the solution to exercise 4.7 from the C programming language textbook by Brian Kernighan and Dennis Ritchie. So exercise 4.7 says to write a routine ungets that will push back an entire string onto the input. And it asks whether this function should know about buff and buff p, or if it should just use ungetch. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to write the function prototype for this function. So it has a void return type, and S is a character array or a string. Okay, so how should it work? So basically we are given a string and we have to put that string back onto the input. So let's say that S equals hello, or actually let's say we have hello as a string and we want to push it back. So what we might be tempted to do is something like this. We could say for in I equals 0 while I is less than the length of S. And what we can do is just push, no, not push, what was our ungetch. So we could just ungetch the current element we're at. Now this is what we might think to do. So as well, if I just, so this is the index into each character. So the string length of hello will return 5, and this for loop will iterate I from 0 through to 4, and so it will return all of these. The problem is we have a stack. So we're gonna first push H, then we're gonna push E to the top. So we're gonna have E on the top, and then we're gonna push L, and then we're gonna push L, and then we're gonna push O. And now you not 0, O. And now you can see what the problem is. The problem is if we try to get this string back, we get the O, then the L, then the L, then the E, then the H. And so after we use getch it, what we end up having is this. We end up getting it back to front. So we can't just loop through straight away in order. So we need to do this in reverse order. So what we can do is we can start I at this, because the string length of hello will be 5. I want to start at index 4, so on -1, and I'm gonna keep going while I is larger than or equal to 0. And instead of incrementing, I should decrement. And this will work. And so this function also does not need to know about buff or buff p. It can just use ungetch and completely ignore the two buff or buff p. So I'm going to compile this just to make sure it's okay and looks good. And we don't actually call the function, so it's going to be quite difficult to test, but it works, and that's the solution. So thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye bye.